It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
Is there a scenario that Joe Burrow
hasn't practiced 11 on 11 yet. So like I said the other day, until we get through some practices, there's no reason for me to even speculate on that.
Well, he's Joe Burrow, so practice yesterday, practice today, practice tomorrow. That's 3 practices. That's some practices, isn't it, PK?
There's really no reason for me to speculate.
Nice. That's Bengals coach Zach Taylor. I want to talk about Joe Burrow's availability. I guess they're tired of talking about the worst defense in the NFL. That probably varies week to week. It's not always the worst defense in the NFL, but it's near the bottom. And that is a massive problem, but maybe they can get Joe Burrow back and overcome that horrific defense. Or just write him off. You're just not going to speculate?
I'd rather talk about the Knicks than the Bengals.
Thursday Night Football, the Bills and the Texans. Prime Video tonight, if you're looking for a little football. Bills, you like them to win the division still? Or are you all in on the Patriots now?
Boy, man, I'm not all in on either, which would be surprising if I went back to August. I would say the Bills, and the Bills.
Yep.
But now I'm not so sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to take the Patriots extremely seriously. This is no fluke. Get to this point in the season.
They've won 8 in a row, and they have beaten the Bills head-to-head in Buffalo. The Bills are only 1 game back in the loss column, though, and they will have the chance to square off in mid-December. So that's Buffalo's chance there to take care of business and see if they get some help along the way. Obviously, the Bills are the first-place team and are playing a more difficult schedule than the Patriots, but that's the breaks. That's the way it goes. They do seem to be set up, whoever doesn't win the division, for a wild card. So they ought to both be in the playoffs. But it's obviously a wild card. You're on the road, and good luck. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson landed back on the injury report. He's now dealing with an ankle injury. The saw him sit out yesterday. Expectation is he'll be ready to play this weekend as they try to run down the Steelers after a 1-5 start. They've won 4 in a row, and they're 1 game behind the Steelers in the AFC North. And those two teams still have to play twice, so anything can happen. And obviously the Ravens need Lamar Jackson healthy. Saints waive veteran wide receiver Brandon Cooks at his request. He signed a 2-year, $13 million deal to join the Saints in March. He's been a non-factor in the offense this season. Whenever you hear the name Brandon Cooks, don't you just think of one play in the north end zone at Rice Eccles Stadium?
I don't remember which end zone it was.
I thought it was the north one.
I don't know.
But in any case, you remember a ball
shot.
you remember the ball over the fingertips onto his fingertips. It really is a game of inches.
Yeah, it's when the Utes were first in the conference, and I said, hey, don't worry about simply not having enough talent on a bad team, because a bad team in this conference most likely will have a good quarterback and a good receiver. And Sean Mannion and Brandon Cooks were the classic example on that. And I know he's been looking at some real estate in Utah, I have been told. So
who is?
Brandon Cooks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers signed former Utah kicker Matt Gay to the practice squad. He likely will be called up to the game day roster. Eddie Pinheiro dealing with a hamstring strain that he picked up last week. So Matt Gay, former UVU soccer player and U football player, back in the NFL. And the quarterbacks, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts brushing off reports of frustration from teammates about how he's been approaching the season and his wanting to play his game. Quote, I'm not surprised by anything. It's kind of the nature of the position, but I put my energy, my focus on trying to go out there and do my best, and trying to learn, trying to build, trying to take the things that I can to try and improve. Is that just the nature of Philadelphia sports? A lot of talking and squawking, and there's a lot of winning there. Seems like people are a little more unhappy. The ratio of happiness to winning seems a little off right now.
Yeah, but I think you're talking about fans and media. This is more about the team.
Yeah. Well, I think the stuff with the fans and media does start with the team. The wide receivers don't love the passing game, and, stats are for losers, but they're also for wide receivers who want to get paid.
Then don't go to Philadelphia.
Well, see, that seems to be good advice.
Don't go to the University of Utah. Who's to blame here?
Minnesota Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy acknowledged the concerns about his accuracy and overall aptitude as an NFL quarterback and offered a metaphor about his hopes to become consistent. Got to make the analogy of just a cork about to come off a bottle. Just understand that it's 1 to 3 little things, and I need to change about my game. It's going to make a huge difference in the outcome of every single drive in the game. So, yeah, I feel like it's really close, but it all comes down to the consistency of the fundamentals. They were winning big in Minnesota, and they made a QB change, so high expectations there, and they're just not happening. Those guys are a ways away from the playoffs at 4-6. The year's just about escaped. Slipped away. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
So moving forward, when some Joe Blow decides to put something on social media out there, we all don't run with it like it's the gospel. Can we all agree on that? And if you have a question about my future with the University of Texas, ask me, ask Chris Del Conte. He'll be more than happy to take your call so that we can set the record straight, so that we can focus on our football team, which is really what we should be doing.
There's Steve Sarkisian on the reports of his status at Texas, speculation that he wants to go off to the NFL to be a coordinator. And the damaging stuff about that speculation is that they've got recruiting in December and the transfer window in January, and that stuff could be getting sorted out in February. So he could be fighting those rumors as he tries to put together next year's team.
We say Joe Blow, so Desmond Howard is Joe Blow?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's easy to go after some slob media making $50,000, but
on social media, Desmond Howard put stuff out there about not being surprised if there'd be a change there in the offseason. And the athletic director quote tweeted it, news to me. So would you like to tell us about the state of the media and breaking news these days and how the standard has changed?
Well, Desmond Howard, with no training, becomes an accredited member of the media.
High profile accredited, yeah.
And so that he's got a voice, and whether he understands, I wonder if he does, the impact. And we were just talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yes, we were.
When I was going to NAU, and back in the day where it was typewriters, and I was taking a journalism class there at NAU. I took several, obviously, and if you had one typo, you could hand in a 10-page assignment, and if you had one typo, it was 1 grade lower. And I remember the professor, Ray Newton, taught me a valuable lesson. And I'm literally 17 years old.
Yeah. And he's driving home points that are going to help you get paid for decades. Not one, not two, not three. Yeah.
I mean, it is 1954, so I don't really remember it.
It was not 1954. What are you, 92?
I work out.
Let's see, wait, I can do the math now. Sound nice. 1954, you would have been born in 37. Carry the 1. Yeah, you'd be 88. Okay, you'd be 88.
But we don't have that today.
New Virginia Tech coach James Franklin said he was excited to get going with the Hokies, but added that they must operate like a big-time program. My jolt is standard for everybody. The players, the coaches, the administration be willing to have some tough conversations when necessary. And he's now at a place where 11-1 will be met with great joy, not angst.
Well, be willing to have some tough conversations means he's going to cut guys.
Yes.
And they all do.
Right.
I assume they haven't been winning. I don't follow Virginia Tech.
They've not been winning. They've not.
I know
winning.
you do, but obviously they haven't been, or they wouldn't make a coaching change.
There it is.
But I couldn't tell you who was the coach. I couldn't tell you what the record was. I couldn't tell you what the record was last year.
They are 3-7 right now. I can tell you that.
So he's going to cut guys and bring in, especially now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
With the transfer spiel, I think it will probably be like Rich Rod over there in the same area of the country anyway, close to it, to where he brought in like 70 new guys. So that's what we're going to see.
I follow it close enough to know that they just did a thing, and it was over $200 million is going to be pumped into the football program in multiple places. Some of it is facilities that'll take a couple of years to play out as they build stuff. But between now and the end of the decade, they are pouring big-time money into that program. So that's when he says they operate like a big-time program. Apparently they've fallen behind.
As all things to all people, continues unmatched.
Thank you. College Sports Commission, the new enforcement agency of college sports, has asked all sports under its purview to agree to waive their right to challenge future punishments in court as part of an agreement that would give the agency significant power to investigate and punish rule breakers in the era of NIL deals and direct athlete payments via revenue sharing. College Sports Commission sent a 10-page membership agreement to all Power Conference schools yesterday and asked them to sign it in the next 2 weeks. The agreement will not go into effect unless every school signs, and it's designed to close loopholes in the House settlement.
Oh, this would be awesome. I think they should give them windbreakers, too, that say CSC.
It sounds like it could be a TV show.
I was going to say, there's going to be...
Tonight after CSI, CSC. And some guy kicks in the door to Heritage Hall.
You're going to need hundreds of
CSC
investigators.
Columbus.
This is a great opportunity here. To
do any of us want to place odds on every single school signing it?
0%.
Yeah, that seems unlikely. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Here's a man Thompson free throw line. Turns left, throws up a shot around the rim and down. He faked a pass to Şengün, took it left instead and dropped it in for 2 points. Thompson with 12.
Grabs the miss, sails it out of traffic at Dort, sets himself again for an angle right three-pointer and buries that. Cha-ching Thunder money ball. Lou coming up big late.
Lobs it off down low to Bruce Brown. Brown in the paint. Shovel past Peyton Watson. Jumpers up and in for Peyton Watson in a new career high form at an even 30 for P. Watt.
8 on the shot clock. Here goes Davion. Moves to Norm. He'll catch. He'll fire. Knocked down to 3. That's enough. That'll be enough.
Highlights from around the NBA. Had some bad teams squaring off, PK. Some of those teams at the bottom, the Jazz fans had an eye on. Somebody had to win. And sure enough, break out the champagne. A rare W for the Indiana Pacers. They snapped their losing streak. They win 127-118 over the Charlotte Hornets. Win number 2. You feel the celebration? Or you just got Indiana in the bottom 5 at the end of the year? They're not going anywhere.
They're not. Circumstances have transpired to put them in this position. Yeah. So I don't.
Most of the bad teams, the Wizards went into the Timberwolves and they got drilled, as you expect. The Sacramento Kings visited the Thunder. You heard the highlight there. Thunder win 113-99. Thunder are 15-1. Kings are 3-12. That was perfectly predictable. The Knicks beat the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg was out ill. The Mavericks with a driving layup to tie the game. 0.7 of a second left, and it was waved off, an offensive foul. Thought they swallowed the whistles at the end. But no.
Not this version of the Mavericks.
Nope.
And then NBA basketball at its best, the Knicks, I heard, became the first team to win despite missing 30 three-point shots and 15 free throws, at least in both categories.
Oh, really? Nice. The daily double right there. Houston Rockets, 10-3 after going into Cleveland and beating the Cavs 114-104. Surprised by that at all?
In November?
Yeah, I know. But nonetheless, how good is Houston? That's a nice road win right there.
I think they're fine.
Donovan Mitchell, 21 points in that game. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Obviously, I know exactly what happened, very aware of all the details, but at the same time, I'm going to let the school handle it the way that they've asked me to handle it, and that's for them to be the people that talk about it. If there's a forum where I'm opened up to speak on it, I will, but I think to this point, they've said what they've said.
Safe to assume that he won't play Friday?
I think it's safe, but I also think there's a lot of stuff still being sorted out.
That's BYU head coach Kevin Young discussing barely Kennard Davis Jr., who's been cited for DUI and marijuana possession involving. Is it safe to assume he's not going to play?
That was the question.
Oh, okay.
From our good friend Jay Drew.
Okay.
There's stuff still being sorted out. Safe to assume, but there is stuff being sorted out. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable take by Kevin Young. But he says that, we'll let the universities speak, but they don't speak.
They do not.
Nor should they speak. I don't think they should. They said what they said, but there's no reason to speak on it anymore. And to what level of suspension? And what's going on in his life? Anytime these things come up, man, it's just, I'm going to insist on my stance is going to stay the same. Show as much mercy as you possibly can under the circumstances.
So I guess we wait, and then we see. Yeah. Wisconsin Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon.
The games last night, Southern Utah got beat by Washington State 98-74. UVU beat UC Irvine 79-72. Weber State beat Campbell 91-85. So there's the locals playing. Big 12 game of note, Arizona at UConn. And Arizona builds a big lead in the second half, squanders it, and then locks them down in the final minute and a half there, PK. And gets the win 71-67. Forced to miss, got to stop, and then UConn missed some free throws, and UConn's big rally slips away. They squander the opportunity, the big comeback win at home.
Man, you know everything.
No, not everything.
Everything we talk about. I had no idea.
No, I watched a little bit about it. It was on FS1 last night. Alabama went to Chicago and beat Illinois 90-86.
I watched the CMAs.
There you go. Utah welcomes Cal Poly to the Huntsman Center tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN+. DJ and PK.
#golf.
PGA Tour is in Georgia. Local connections, Zach Blair, Patrick Fishburne in the field. It's the RSM Classic. Don't know much about it, PK. If you're looking for a hole in my sports knowledge, there it is, for sure. That's at least one of them.
The evidence, the vote is in, buddy.
The fall series of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Got it.
DJ and PK.
#NHL.
I think just consistency. I think playing a better first period, I think that's where we were really good at when we were winning a lot of games. Just being more prepared, more ready from the start on.
That's JJ Peterka. What do they have to do to get back to winning after a trio of 3-2 overtime losses? Utah Mammoth, look it up. Pile up some points here. They have won just, 2 and 8 now in their last 10, although they have picked up points along the way. And they're back home. Vegas, the Golden Knights, coming into town to get things started, and they will play tonight, 7 o'clock. You hear the game right here on The Zone. That is what is trending. It's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, we're going to talk football with Barry Trammell, sports columnist, Tulsa World, 8 o'clock. Jay Drew, BYU beat writer for the D-News, joins us at 9 o'clock, and we will look ahead to the BYU-Cincinnati game with both of those guys. Coming up next, what is trending is done, so it is time for the question of the day. Hot takes or toast, next, right here on The Zone.